Hello everyone and welcome on the Papier de Rêve channel. I'm Ursula and today I will be painting with you some daffodils. Even I can't go out to enjoy spring and some daffodils myself, I can watch them a lot painted by artists on Instagram, and I was inspired by all this great content on Instagram to paint myself some daffodils too. I'm starting this painting by drawing my flowers before painting them because I want to be sure that they are in the right place for me and they have the right shape. I found a very easy way to draw daffodils. These flowers are round shape at the center and then they have 6 petals, so I'm drawing the round shape first and then I trace some lines, 3 lines crossing at the center of the round shape, and that's my center of each petals, and this way they are very well parted from each other and they have just the right place for my flowers. I've drawn this shape with a watercolor pencil so that the pencil will smudge with all the water and will not be visible at the end. Once I'm happy with the shapes, I just have to fill them up with some colors, and here I'm using nickel azo yellow for the yellow, and that's it. My daffodils are just ready to be painted. In order to keep my painting quite loose, I will also throw a lot of water and color on the paper in a random way. I like to use my brush with lots of water on it and just throw it across the paper and let the water driblet on the paper itself. And I also like to use a water bottle with a spray and spray my paper with some water, so that the color will merge in a little bit and flow a little bit more in the paper. I try to keep some edges quite sharp so that you can see the shape of the flower, but I try also to have some very soft edges so that the painting is more expressive that way and a little bit looser. And I'm using the same strategy for the leaves and all the greeneries in this painting. I'm painting them at first quite sharply, and then I will throw water. I will use my spray bottle. I will move the paper so that the pigments are moving too, in order to soften all these marks and make it a little bit looser. My style isn't about a realistic shape, and it's not a botanic style. I just want to have the colors right and be very expressive with the shapes and the colors. I want the colors to be right and in concordance with the feeling I'm feeling right when I paint. That's more important for me to add some expressivity to my painting than realism. In order to have a unity within the colors I'm using, for the green I'm just using the nickel azo yellow, the same yellow as for my flowers, and mixed with a little bit of Indanthrene blue. And I've chosen Indanthrene blue for this painting, even though I use pretty much all the time ultramarine blue, but this time I've used Indanthrene blue just because I want a smoother green and I do not want the granulation I can get with ultramarine blue. And in order to get some contrast in this painting, I'm using a little bit of lavender in some area next to the flower, so that there is a strong contrast between the warmth of the yellow and the cools of the lavender. The flower will appear a little bit more warm this way. And to end this first layer, I will add some more color in some area in order to darken the color a little bit more. but I will also take back some color in other area with a brush totally clean, but without water in it, so that I can absorb the moisture and the pigment from the area I want. And I've done that especially on the flowers, so that they are a little bit lighter and in more 3D way. And while this layer is drying, I will talk you through my supplies. For the brushes, I'm using an Escoda Ùltimo 1 inch and an Escoda Ùltimo number 8 rigger. For the colors, I'm using Indanthrene blue, nickel azure yellow, Winsor red, and lavender. And my paper is from Arches in rough. In my second layer, I will focus myself on adding just enough details that you can recognize the flower, but not too much, because I do not want to go too much into realism. In order to paint the heart of the flower, the round shape at the center of the flower, I'm just using a very concentrated in pigment color, an orange color made from nickel azure yellow and Winsor red, and I will add it to the contour of this center, and then with a acrylic brush and just water on it, I will come and graze this area of color in order to create a gradient from the exterior of this shape into the center. And with this technique, it's very important to not drag the color from the exterior to the center, but to go from the center to the exterior, so that the color will blend into this wet area very easily and in a very soft way. If you brush it with your brush, it will be too strong and you will not have this gradient as delicate as it is right now. I think this technical gesture is the most difficult thing in this painting, but with a little bit of exercise you can really achieve this technique quite easily, and it's a really good tool to have with you. The paper I'm using for this painting is quite bigger than I'm used to in my last couple of paintings. Just because as we are in confinement here in Europe, I wanted to be mindful of my stash of paper, and I cut part of my sheet in half so that I can have a little bit more. But I was able to place an order and I will have more paper quite soon, so I'm pretty happy with it, and I can use my full sheet of paper without cutting them, so that I have more space to express myself. And I think that working on a bigger sheet of paper is quite nice. It's quite freeing, and I can express myself a little bit more in a large way. I can have some more gesture with my brush, and yes, I feel just free. The leaves and the stem in this painting are quite important because they add a darker color to the painting, and that's what will make the flower pop a little bit more. So they are important, but I do not want to have them too much details, because the details are just on my focus point, that is the flower. So I'm painting all this greenery quite loosely. I'm tracing some line, and then I will blur them with water, and I will use my brush in quite a different way to use it. I will not drag the brush in the same direction as the hair. I will go in the other direction, so that all the air will spread on the paper and make a lot of mark and random marks that I quite like, because I will add a little bit more expression to this painting. I really enjoy painting this piece just because I was able to be very free with my gesture and my brush. I was able to express myself a lot, and that's part of because of the size of my paper, but also because I was able to paint spring and play with this really nice yellow that is Nicolas yellow. And this painting is a success for me because I want to look at it all the time, and it's on my desk right now, and I think I will try to frame it and put it on in my office so that I can look at it a little bit more. And if you enjoy this kind of painting, I can just recommend you to see Jean Haines' work around daffodils. She is doing really a beautiful work with all the spring flower and all the flower in general. I will link her Instagram in the description just below so that you can see what she is doing with it, and it's quite beautiful. And this video is now ending. Thanks for watching, and I hope you like it. Please check the blog post for more information about it, and tell me what you think in the comments. See you soon.